There are a lot of techniques in Smartsheet that can help you scale your solution better. Today, we're going to cover 3 different techniques that can make your solution more effective. The first technique is the dynamic row number. A lot of times when you're building out a sheet, you need to make sure that it is sequentially ordered from the top to the bottom as 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. But when you set up your rows or set up a formula, you find that it's hard to make sure that's always happening, especially if you're creating a bunch of rows at the same time. This technique allows you to make a column formula that will continue to keep the correct number at all times, even if you switch it. So the first step to creating a dynamic row number is to make sure that you have an auto number set up. So I will go to Edit Column Properties. I will switch to auto number. It doesn't matter what I set up. It could be just a prefix. It could be a simple just 1, 2, 3. It just has to be unique for every row. Now this dynamic row number is going to be where I'm going to put a formula in that is able to always calculate what number it is down the sheet. When I set up the dynamic row number, I need to add the formula. First, I will type in match, which is going to be the formula I use to do this. And then I'm going to click on the cell right next door, this row number. I just need to make sure it's always a unique value. Then for my range, I actually select the whole thing. So I can start with that again. I can type colon, click again, comment, and then I do want to make sure the search type is 0 to be exact. You can see right there, it's 1. Since I have it referencing only the cell at row, I can convert to a column formula. What's really powerful about this is no matter what I do with my order, it always is counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no matter what this is. Now it's doing this because my match is always counting from the top down. So it's really powerful in maintaining that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 order. And because it's a column formula, I could have this hidden and it is able to work well with whatever solution I set up. This can help us a lot when we're trying to make sure there's a specific order or trying to do comparisons within the sheet. It always allows for any of your formulas to know how far down they are in the sheet. I will want to mention that when you start having a formula reference this, that means that you're referencing a formula that is referencing something else. So be careful not to create too many references. The next technique is to have different colors per level of hierarchy. When I say hierarchy, there are multiple ways to do it. So for the hierarchy column, first, I want to make sure that I have it actually count how many levels down it is. So I'm going to put count and then ancestors. Now it's crucial that I select something that is always going to be present. So row number is a great example in case this ever gets removed on that row. I know that there's going to always be an auto row number in here. I hit enter, I see 0. That's what I expect. I can convert that to a column formula, and then when I start to indent, you can see it's going to automatically count. Well, I have 1 ancestor. If I want to make this 2 levels deeper, now I have 2. And so now I could set up a hierarchy color scheme. So I would use the hierarchy and I'll say, okay, for 0, I like to typically make it darker at the top and lighter as you go down, but you can choose any style you want. So for example, I'll choose darker gray for the 0. And then I'll also probably want to light it up a bit so you can see the text. Now I can duplicate it. And instead I'll choose 1. And I will choose a lighter gray. I could continue to do that on multiple levels. The value here is that I could be indenting and I never have to change the color manually because it's automatically done by conditional formatting. All right, so finally, the last technique today, the today function. In the past, we used to have a formula called today. It still operates, but the problem with it is that if you leave a sheet with the today function inside, first of all, it's going to be harder on that sheet when you're trying to have different cells reference it. It makes the sheet get heavier and heavier. You will find that it doesn't update if no users are present. You will want this to be updating every day, no matter what So instead of having the today function, I recommend creating an automation. So you go into the automation and create it from scratch. And what you'll want to do is set this to when a date is reached. You're going to make sure it's custom. And you want to make sure it's daily. It can start today. It's going to default to today. Now, you don't really need any conditions here because you want it to happen to all the rows. You also want to make sure that it's happening right in the morning. So it could be 12 a.m. So that way, your entire day has the right date inside. Now you can simply record a date. You choose the today date. I hit save. Good etiquette would be to write in what it means. It's important to make sure that you label your automations, as when you're creating more and more, especially if you're duplicating a sheet, you will find that it can be quite confusing to manage them. Now, I can go to my automation. I can run now for the entire sheet. And now I have today on every single row. I could reference that with any of my formulas. And since it's just a value that is basically entered in by the sheet, it's not creating extra lag for my formulas. I hope these techniques were helpful. If you have additional questions, please comment below. And don't forget to subscribe.